What's going on there, guys? Thank you for dropping by the channel today for another sneaker video. Today what's in the spotlight is the Jordan 14. Now for me, and for many people out there to be honest, the Jordan 14 marks sort of the end of the classic era of the Jordan line. There have been some great Jordan sneakers since then, but really like the regular, like every single year, churning out classic sneaker after classic sneaker. It kind of came to an end with the 14s. Now for me, I'm half and half. Sometimes the 14s I really get them, really dig them, and today's shoe is a case in point, and sometimes I'm a bit about them, and but that's just me. Maybe you're a bit different, maybe you've got a different perspective on that. There is one Jordan out there that I'm absolutely in love with, one Jordan 14 that I'm absolutely in love with, and it's the other Oregon Ducks, and we'll get into that today as well, and hopefully I'll be able to show you a video of those in hand too. So there's a lot going on at the channel today, especially revolving around this Jordan 14 drop that's coming. So without further ado, let's get into this upcoming release of the Nike Air Jordan 14 Gym Red. This is the Talking About a 23 Sneaker channel, Talking About a 23 Sneaker channel. Des, Mainichi Absurdo Day, Mainichi Media Design. Every single day out from Tokyo, Japan, I bring content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And today, what's in the spotlight is a Jordan 14, the Gym Red. And the title of this video was, why are they dropping this at this particular time? And as I usually say, you know, if I ask a question in the title, I try and answer it as fast as possible and not string you guys along all the way through the video. So with you know, there isn't an answer, but I will talk about it, is that it doesn't make sense for me. This shoe doesn't make sense for me in the sort of grand scheme of sneaker drops that are going on out there. There's a ton of USA themed sneakers coming out, like absolutely bucket loads. I already did one Kyrie 6 USA, and there's already another one coming out, like an alternate or a reverse or something like that. There's been just a bucket load of them. Even the Flyes have come out with a USA themed Air Max 90. So everywhere's USA, and this shoe does not fit in with that USA sort of theme that's going on. It just doesn't fit with anything else that's kind of kicking on. You know, it's the fives. Jordan 5s are in the spotlight this year. It's their 30th anniversary, just like last year was the 4s. Here we've got a 14 dropping again. I mean, they can drop 14s, of course. I'm not saying they can't do that in the 30th anniversary of the 5s, but it just doesn't seem to fit in with anything else. It's just sort of like dropped in there out of nowhere. So I'm not really sure what the point was of this. Maybe it's one of those shoes that was due to drop later or at a different time and had to shift the drop dates around a little bit, and so it's dropping at this particular time. I'm not sure the reasons for it, but it just seems a little bit out of place to me. Maybe you guys agree, maybe not, but let me know in the comments down below what you're thinking. Also, here's the Rip Hamilton, or is it the Candy Canes? That's a shoe I remember doing a review for on the channel. I only think I've looked at maybe 3 or 4 14s, and like I say, that other Oregon Ducks is part of that. But I've only ever looked at upcoming releases of a couple of 14s, and those Rip Hamiltons was one. I remember from last year, the drop was all over the place. Originally, it was a Rip Hamilton, like player exclusives that was getting a general release, and then they're like, no, they're actually going to be called the Candy Canes and nothing to do with Rip, and it was just a messy drop. And then also we had the reverse Ferraris in yellow. Now they're two good shoes to look at from my perspective on 14s, because I'm a bit of a fan of the 14s that come with that kind of suede or clean upper on the side where it's just a sheen right along the edge of the sneaker. And then if we go back to those Rip Hamiltons, I think I'm right in saying that that's one of the ones that's got the stitching that runs horizontally through the lateral side of the sneaker. I'm more of a fan of the smooth ones, and that's why we're talking about those other Oregon Ducks. The Oregon Duck 14. The Oregon Duck Jordan sneaker that most people go straight to is the 5s. Beautiful sneaker, getting a general release this year, but not obviously with the university kind of branding on there, but definitely the entire colorway is coming out in a general release, which is a big thing. But that's one Oregon 5 Jordan. And then the Jordan 14 Oregons, most people think also of that kind of green. It's a bit of a dirtier green than those 5s. When you talk about that, I think it's a more expensive sneaker. But these here, these grey ones here, absolutely beautiful sneaker. And what I'm going to hopefully be able to do, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to do it, is to put a video at the end of this video that's got those Oregon Duck 14s in hand, which is a great video to see because they're a beautiful sneaker, very rare, well worth sticking around to check out. But the last time I said I'd put a video like that at the end of this video, something went wrong and I just had black screen, so I ended up just putting an apology at the end because I couldn't make it work. I've already checked it out and the video seems to be working. I've already already uploaded it to iMovie, which is the video editing software I use. So fingers crossed it will work, and you'll get that extra bit of content at the end, which is the Jordan 14 Oregon Duck Greys in hand, a beautiful shoe. But anyway, enough about all of that. Let's get into this shoe, which is today what we're looking at is that gym red, Jordan 14s. And I want to go through it just a little bit and look at some of the details on it. Now, very first, straight off the bat, when I looked at this, I was kind of like average. Just sort of, and we're talking like a little thumbnail about this big, and I'm just, skimming through all the different sneakers that are coming up and choosing the one I'm going to talk about. But I was like, can't find anything to talk about that isn't USA themed, because we've had enough of USA sneakers. There's like the Shacknosis that I haven't touched yet, the Kamikaze, which is actually a little bit, I think it's a little bit inappropriate. Anyway, but especially in the current climate. But then, so there's USA thing. No, I don't want to touch them. Not really interested in that hippie shoe with the Nike hippie shoe that's coming out. I've not even looked at it, to be honest, or looked into it. So it's like, there's not much out there. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go for this. It's coming out in about a week and a half time. It's due to drop here in Japan and the rest of the world July 2nd. Although Europe seems to be about a week ahead of everybody else and getting it in late June. But yeah, I was like, oh, okay, I'm not really. And then I clicked on it and I looked at it and I was like, whoa, that is rich, that is premium, that is pure, that is clean. And I'm glad I did, because I wasn't really interested, but then when I started looking deeper at it, I was like, actually, you know what, this one's a winner. And it's a beautiful looking sneaker. So let's deal with that upper first and foremost. That, like I said, my preference on the 14s is these clean uppers that are undisturbed by stitching, and it's that beautiful, like smooth, buttery material all the way front to back. Love it when they do that on the sneaker, and it's only interrupted towards the heel on the lateral side, and you see that branding there, which isn't on the medial side. The medial side is very solid and very plain, and there isn't very much going on the sneaker in that position. But then there are a couple of hits on there that are worth looking at. I like the back of the guys with the Jumpman up high and his standard sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not parameters, but dimensions. But then underneath that, you've got this really crazily stretched out 23 in white on the black part there, which is wrapped around the red. So it's nice sort of balance of the colours on the back there. And then if we come to the front, my favourite kind of semi-feature, but consistent feature on 14s is actually a tongue. I really dig the tongue, especially the top part there where you can see it's in black, and then you've got the Jordan branding in red right across the top of the tongue. And then if we dip inside and have a look down onto the insole, you can see black insole with that red Jumpman on there as well. So, but what they really do a good job of on the sneaker is balancing out the three colours that are going on here. It's red, it's white, and it's black. And the reason I'm bringing that now is because if we go down towards the bottom of the tongue and the lacing system, you can see that white Jumpman on there that gives it an extra bit of definition. I'm really glad they put that there. If it was red, it would have gotten lost a little bit. The white contrast with the black and the red, and it really sort of pops off. So it's a really nice placement of that kind of stuff. That's why I like the sneaker mainly, is because of the balance of the colours and the way they've blocked the colours out on there. And that's true of the outsole as well. So if we have a flip upside down and look at that, I think I'm right in saying in dead centre on the outsole, there's a red Jumpman right in the middle of the outsole there, of the black outsole. So all black outsole, red Jumpman in the middle, I think. And then as you go towards the front, there is a red disc right there with the Roman numerals. And let's see if I can remember my Roman numerals. XIV for 14. So, and that's just a bit of, definition to what is a classic outsole, especially with that sort of midfoot shank in there, which is a real, of its time, it was a real step forward in technology. And it still holds its sort of own in terms of design and coolness for sneakers these days. So yeah, it's just a really clean sneaker. It's a really clean 14. Everything's in the right place. But like I said, there's nothing special about it. It's not a collaboration. It's not got any player exclusive tied to it. Nothing to do with upcoming like events, which would have been the Olympics or anything else, the end of the NBA season, stuff like that. So it just seems like a sneaker out of place, and any other year or any other time it might have had a lot of hype behind it. A Gym Red 14, really nice, very clean sneaker. Let's get the hype behind that. But it just seems to be sort of, I don't know, it seems to be floating there unhinged. It's like a hot air balloon that's just been let go, and it's just sort of hanging there, just drifting on the wind. And it just doesn't make much sense to me, but I might not have the right information on that, and you might have more information about that. So if you know more about this shoe than me, let me know in the comments down below. If you know there's a point to it other than it's just a beautiful shoe. Maybe that's all it is. It's just a beautiful shoe, and that's all it needs to be. So, but that's my take on it. That's my take on this Jordan 14. Like I say, it's the very last, in the classic era of Jordans for me, and it's hit or miss on the 14s. I like pretty much anything that comes before that 13 down to 1. Not a huge fan of the 6, 7, 8 sort of era, but mostly I like what's going on in that 1 through 13. But then when it's the 14s, it's hit or miss, and after that, it's a bit, miss. So that's me. That's my perspective. Hope you appreciate that. What I'm going to do is jump away now and leave you with that Oregon Ducks 14, the grey version. It's just a beautiful shoe, absolutely clean. Great to be able to show you that in hand at the channel. Something we should be getting back to soon after all these lockdowns are lifted throughout the world. For now, time for me to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out the content. But as I do this every single day, that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.
The Jordan 14 Oregon Duck, man, this is a cool shoe. I'm just going to give you guys a chance to really appreciate the detail on this because it is absolutely out of this world. The suede embroidered gray. So this, I believe, this gray colorway was for the football team, and there's also a green, which we'll flash up a picture of, which I'm 99% sure was for the track and field team. So as you guys know, Jordan and the Oregon, they go back, Oregon Ducks go back, and they have some of the most iconic, rarest Jordan sneakers are from Oregon. So, or the Ducks P's, the Ducks samples. So this is certainly right up there. I'm not a huge fan of the actual 14, but when this shoe came out, I just went, man, I have to have it. And I think that the green one, it's like an olive green, again, Doug, flash up the picture, is quite a bit more rare, if my memory serves me correct, and quite a bit more expensive than this. But for me, this was one of the last real grails that I purchased when I was really heavily collecting, and I just thought, you know what, I need this shoe, and got it. I got some of the off-white stuff as well after this, but this was certainly a shoe that I just went, my God, I need to have that in the collection. So, yeah, I'll give you guys a look close up. I didn't acquire the green one. Again, I just, my collection went in a bit of a different direction, and my life did. So I had to make some changes, but this is certainly a grail that I'm happy to have. So if you guys chose